Hello everyone, and welcome back to the 2018 Granny Square Crochet Along. 1 square a day, sometimes you get an extra square. 1 square a day for 365 days. Today is day 94. We are into April, we're on day 94, and today we are making this twisted cable square. So you can see these cables going on in these rows and they look like they're twisting. Now, if this square looks like it might be complicated, do not panic. It's really nice and simple to work up once you get the hang of what you're doing. It's just single crochets, double crochets, and front post treble crochets. So I'll take you through those steps, and we'll have this lovely square at the end. So all you need today is some yarn and your hook. Obviously you can change colours part way if you want to, but it's kind of designed to be in one colour, and designed by one of our lovely group members. All the details of the group are in the description box below, and if I go too fast for you during this video, then either up in the top or below there is some dots or a cog, and you can slow the video right down and follow along there in a slower motion. So grab your hook, grab your yarn, and let's get going. As I have told you on my other couple of April squares so far, I'm using blue for Autism Month, Autism Awareness Month. Our videographer Janelle over in America has a young daughter with autism, and this is kind of, you know, a way of showing support for those guys. And there will be a link to the Autism Awareness site below as well if you're interested. So let's get started. We are working in rows today, by the way, not in the round. So you need to do a chain of 28 to start with. So do your chain of 28 and then I'll meet you back. Okay, so a chain of 28. Now we're going to be working with 27 stitches on each row. So you need, we're going to be doing single crochets on this row. So you need to skip your first chain, not this one here on your hook, but skip your first chain and go into the second chain, do a single crochet, and then you're going to do a single crochet in every chain along, right down to your slip knot. Now I suggest you count these because sometimes chains can get a bit bigger or a bit smaller and it can be easy to miss them. So count your 27 single crochets along, and then when you finish that I will meet you back for row 2. Okay, so 27 single crochets along your chain, and now you're going to chain 3. 1, 2, 3, and then you're going to turn your work over and work in the back. So as I've said before, we're not very used to working in the back very often, so just find these little gaps where you need to go in. So that's your first, that counts as your first double crochet, and we're only doing 27, so we're not going to go into this very first stitch here. You can see that very first stitch, we're not going to go into that because that would give us an extra stitch. So miss that first one because you've got your chain, and then do a double crochet into the next. So that will count as number 2. And then, what am I doing today? And then if you count your way along, counting this as 2, then all the way to the end. Don't forget this little bit at the end. Actually, I'll come back and show you that last stitch. So work along to 26 stitches and we'll do the last one together. 26 double crochets, or 25 double crochets in your chain. Okay, so for stitch 27, if you see this very last bit, this knobbly funny bit, you need to go under there, but make sure, so you've only got 1 bar there, make sure you might need to turn it and look for that second bar because it tends to sort of go over to the front, that first one, because it's near our turning chain, and then complete your double crochet. So 27 double crochets in this row. So your next row will be a chain 1, turn, and you're going to do a single crochet into this same stitch, because your chain 1 never counts as your stitch on these rows. So go into your first stitch, and then you're going to do again 27 single crochets all the way along. When you get to your chain 3, do a single crochet in the very top chain there, and you will have 27 single crochets on this row. And then we will start doing the interesting part, the cables. So 27 single crochets along here. Now if this is slightly wider than your square size, I'll tell you now, have a measure, because you do need this stitch count for it to work. So if this is slightly too long, then I suggest you go down a hook size so it brings it in slightly, because like I said, we do need the stitch count here. So but if this is working fine for you, then continue 27 single crochets, and I'll meet you back. Okay, so for row 4, we are now going to be in a 2-row pattern. So there's going to be 2 rows that you will repeat, okay, and I'll tell you how far you need to rewind to follow that over and over until you get to the near the end of your square. So you need to chain 3 and turn your work, and then you need to do a double crochet in the next 2 stitches. So remember, not your first one where your chain is, but the next one. So do 2 double crochets along, 1, 2 double crochets along, and then you're going to do a front post treble crochet around the 4th double crochet of this row here. So not your single crochets, but your doubles. So 1, 2, 3, 4. So count the 4th one, do a front post treble, so you're going under that stitch, and then you're working your treble around it, okay, making that post at the front. So you've done 1 there, and now you're going to skip the next double crochet and work a front post treble into the next one, or around the next one, sorry, and a front post treble around the next one. And then you're going to do a front post treble. You're going to work back around this stitch that you skipped. So do a front post around there, and this is what makes it our twisted cables, because we're working back around, okay. It sort of forms a bit of an X shape. You can't see it too well now, but it will form, you will see it forming as we go along, okay. And then you need to do skip these 2 that we made previously and do a front post treble around the next stitch along. So you will have made 5 front post trebles just now, a straight one, 2 going in this direction, and then 1 going in that direction, and then another straight one. 5 there, okay. And for those 5 stitches, you will have 5 single crochets here that you're going to miss, and they will just get left there and you won't be working into them, okay. So if you want to count along, you can do. You've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 that you're missing, and then you're going to be working into the next one. So it's kind of next to this front post. But if you're not quite sure, just count along, and you're going into the 6th one, and you're going to do a double crochet into there. And you're going to do a double crochet into the next 2, so that you have 3 double crochets. Okay. Okay, and then you're going to be working around the next 5 double crochets below. So look at where you did your last one, because it's not always easy to see which one is below, which one you're working into. So look at your last front post here, and then count 1, 2, 3, 4. So you've got 3 between that you are not using, and then do a front post treble around this 4th double crochet along. and a front post treble, 2 along, so skip 1, do a front post treble, and do a front post treble in the next one, and do a front post treble back in your skipped stitch, and a front post treble in the next one along, so skip your 2 you just made, and a front post treble around the next double crochet. Okay, and then count your 5 stitches along, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then do a double crochet into your 6th stitch along. That's going to be a single crochet. Let's try that again. And do 3 double crochets along, so 1, 2 and 3, and that's back to our cables. So count from your last front post double crochet, front post treble, 1, 2, 3, and we're going into the 4th. Do a front post treble around there, skip a double crochet, front post treble crochet around the next, front post treble around the next, front post treble back around the one we missed, and a front post treble 3 stitches along, skip over the 2 we've made and do a front post treble there. And then if you look up here, you could count 5, or you can just look here, you've got 1, 2, 3, do your last 3 double crochets. And your 3rd one in this end stitch, which again might be slightly tricky because part of it might be facing the front. So just have a look there, and your final double crochet. So you've still got 27 stitches along, but just some of them are your front post trebles at the front. Okay, so you have got this going on now. You've got 3, we've got your chain and then 2, so that's your 3, and then you've got 5 trebles, 5 front post trebles, 3 doubles, 5 front post trebles, 3 doubles, 5 front post trebles. Okay, so when you finished your we've finished this row of cables now, you're going to do a chain 1 and turn and do a row of single crochets all the way back along, so 27 single crochets all the way back along, and then you're going to do a chain 3. So pause this and do your excuse me, put my teeth back in, do your 27 single crochets, and then I will see you back to do a chain 3, 1, 2, 3, and turn your work, and then you're going to work into the, not this one, but at the bottom of your chain, remember, work into the next 2, and then you are going to be working around these front posts now, not around your double crochets. So work a treble front post around this first one, and also this is great because it saves you counting the 5 skipped stitches. So you are then going to do another treble, but you're going to skip your front post that's here, and you're going to work around this one, so you might need to just move this one out of the way slightly, work around that one and work around the next one, the front post treble, and then you're going to skip back and work around this one here that you left behind, and then you're going to skip these 2 and work around this straight one here, front post treble. Okay, and then you're going to work double crochets into the next 3 stitches on your single crochet row, and then you are going to repeat exactly what you've done here. You're going to do it around your front post trebles here, okay, and then you're going to repeat that to the end, and then you're going to chain 1, turn and do your single crochets, and you're going to do that for 7 lots of cable rows. So 7 times you're going to repeat your treble, your cable row and your single crochet, and I will meet you back at the top when you've got, you will have 8 sets of cables going up. Okay, so follow this back, rewind 2.5 minutes, and that will show you what you're doing here. Okay, and I'll meet you back at the top. Okay, so when you've got your 8 rows of cables, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 rows of cables, it's time to finish off. So have a measure of your square, see how much more you need to do, and we need to do a row of single crochet to just cap off this these cables, and then a row of double crochet, and then if you need it for a final row is a final row of single crochet. So do those rows, and I will see you in a moment when I've done those, and we'll just see the whole square together. Okay, so I've done a single crochet row, a double crochet row, and then another row of single crochet. And that is my twisted cable square completed. I've just fastened off, pulled that in tight. Now this bottom row where your chains are does kind of bunch a little bit, but just pull it out, stretch it out, and give it a block if you are blocking your squares. And when you get it sewn in with the rest of your squares, it will all work out fine, I'm sure. So there you go. I love this effect down the middle, and yeah, I love it. It's really clever how it works. So that's your day 94 square twisted cables. So if you found this video useful and helpful, please click that like button, give us a thumbs up, and any comments or questions, type them below. The group details are in the description box underneath this screen. It would be lovely to see you over there, see some of your squares, and come and join in the fun over there. So until next time, guys, just keep hooking and don't let your tea get cold.